I'm Dean Newland, and welcome to Leadovation. Reimagine, facilitate, flourish. This podcast is dedicated to the art and science of innovative leadership. Through insightful interviews with industry experts, I bring you cutting-edge strategies and experiences of innovative leadership, helping you think differently, act strategically, and achieve remarkable results. Join me as I provide insights and tools that empower you to make smarter decisions, forge meaningful relationships. Welcome to Leadovation. We're living in a moment where creativity and technology are colliding. And for many of us, that, is both thrilling and terrifying. My guest today, Kevin Surace, has lived at the intersection of this particular two different domains for decades. From running a theater and making films to becoming a pioneer in AI and digital assistants, Kevin brings a unique mix of creativity and technology to everything he touches. In our conversation, he explores how theater skills can make anyone a better communicator, while convenience always trumps all when it comes to technology adoption, and how AI is transforming industries from music and film to marketing and customer service. Kevin also gives us a glimpse into the near future where avatars may replace call centers and AI can write Broadway quality songs in minutes, and even filmmaking is democratized down to a laptop and $120 an hour of compute time. This is a fascinating look at what's coming and what it means for leaders and creatives and businesses trying to adopt. So if you're curious about how to stay ahead of the curve and how to harness AI rather than fear it, stick around, for this conversation is indeed fascinating. This is the Leadovation podcast. I'm Dean Newland. Let's dive in. All right, so Kevin, nice having you on the show. And I have to start off with something a little bit personal. And those of you who are seeing Kevin's background, you see nothing but awards and different types of sound technologies and so forth. And I was reading your bio, and it sounds like you have a background in music, and yet somehow this music piece of your life has been somewhat of an influence into the work you're doing now. So draw the connection. How has music been a foundational piece of the work that you're doing with AI, with success, with all the other things that you find interesting? It's obviously a through line.
Yeah. That's a great question. Well, let's start as a teen, right? As a teen, I learned electronics myself. I was repairing radios and tape recorders and TVs and all of those things, right? And so, but I was also a percussionist. I was a drummer. I was in, at the time, the National Championship Marching Band. I was involved in musical theater. And so, of course, I wanted to go to school for what? I want to be on stage. I want to be on Broadway. I want to be an actor. I want to be a percussionist, right? Drummer. My dad.
So you did all of that. You wanted all of that. You would have been an actor, not just a percussionist, not just a musician. Anything in front of people.
No, I would have been starving. The heck is that? My dad rightly said, that's interesting, but no, you're not going to college for that. You're going to college for engineering, because it turns out you're really good at that. So go to school for engineering, and if you want to do music in any way, shape, or form, you can do that all on the side. But you're first going to school for engineering. You know, really good choice. I ended up in Silicon Valley for 3 decades plus. And that was just, look, that's a good thing to do, right? It's not that Silicon Valley is easy, but it's a really good place to be, if you want success in that field, for sure. And all the while, I was very active in music. I literally ran a theater for several years as the artistic director while having a day job, right? Loved it.
And was this musical theater?
Yeah, musical theater. Yes.
So you and I just met for the first time. So it's interesting that your father said, "Hey, you should not go to an art school. You should go to a technology school."
Yeah.
My dad and mom didn't care one way or the other. They were just glad that I was going to school. So I ended up getting a degree in acting at the University of Washington, a PATT program. And so my whole background started off in theater and then led to business, which is interesting. Maybe we have different paths, but we sort of have this commonality here. So anyway,
let me say something about theater though. So I do 40, 50 keynotes a year, and people say, what makes you so, I don't mean to tout myself here, but they'll say, what makes you so good on stage? That's the best speaker I've ever heard. It's so energetic and so, I said, it's theater. They go, what are you talking about? It's theater. The lights are on. It's time to do my theater. But I said, everyone else comes up there from an academic standpoint, and they go, let me read you the theoretical blah, blah, blah of the AI and how it, so if it's theater, I can take any topic, and mostly I speak on AI and my upcoming book, right? Joy Success Cycle. But I can take any topic, as you could, as an actor, and make it anything you want. I can make AI so exciting and so fun and bring it down to something grounded that you can do today. And so you walk into this theater, 5,000 people recently that I did at a conference, and walking in and go, I got to hear another AI speaker. Tell me and it's how it could kill me and what the dangers are. And I go, whoa, let's see what we can do with AI. Here's some video. Here's some music. Here's some this. Here's some that. Let me teach you how you can do it. Here's all the tools I use. And they go, whoa. And again, then I come off and I'm very gentle and kind and nice. And they go, what was that on stage? The theater.
Yeah.
It's theater.
I know. My wife and I just came back. Well, it was about a year and a half ago. We did a conference over at Harvard. It was on coaching in healthcare. And there were some big hitters there. But gosh, Kevin is the same way. It was very didactic. It was very much people reading off of a script. We had no interactions with each other. They had their academic boards in the lobby, so we could read all that stuff. And I understand the reasons for it, but it's not very entertaining and it doesn't engage people. And I think it actually squelches learning, because right now information is cheap. Cheap.
Right. Free.
All you got to do is ask ChatGPT or something else to go get your information. But how do you then translate that into learning and being able to have it?
Entertain the people. Entertain the people. Give them 3 things they'll remember. I walk into the theaters that I'm talking at, sometimes conference centers, whatever they are. And I said, what's that thing on stage? What? That thing, it's wood and it has a light on it. Oh, that's the podium. Get it off.
Yeah, exactly. I hate
Get that thing off the stage. Well,
I hate those.
Everyone else talks behind the podium, and they put everyone to sleep. Get the darn thing off the stage. So look, I get to use that. I have created a couple of films. They are musical films, and they're on Amazon Prime, so they're really.
What are they called?
Well.
So we can go look for them.
Yeah. One is for the holidays. It's called Estella Scrooge. It's Scrooge's great granddaughter, played by Betsy Wolfe, superstar on Broadway, and it's fantastic. It's great. And the other one is called 1660 Vine, and it's about kind of high school kids or slightly older that are influencers, and they all move to LA and move into one of these influencer houses, and all they're doing is Instagramming, right? All they're doing is Insta, TikTok, etc., trying to build up their followers. And it's about these kids that come to a realization, some come to a realization that this is all fake. This is like, do I really want to do this with my life? And others go, it's fake, but I'm printing money. I'm going to stay doing it, right? So there's a whole lesson. It's a great musical. The choreography was Paula Abdul.
Wow.
So it was a lot of fun on set and lots of stories from the set. But nevertheless, so I do get to still do music. I'm still doing musical theater. I've got a big concert coming up with Nicole Henry and a 27-piece studio orchestra that I'm conducting coming up at the end of October in Rochester, New York. So very active. Very active.
It sounds like it. So with your creative, high energy, curious mind that I'm beginning to tap into here, I can only assume that AI allows you to do more of that. It's a tool for creativity, that you see it that way.
Yes.
Maybe not everybody sees it that way. They may have some fear around it and so forth. They don't understand it. But I gather that you see AI as a possibility for more exploration, more creativity, more innovation. And so could you give us something that maybe we don't know, the average Joe out there, about AI in its use for creativity? What are some of the things that we can do creatively with AI that we couldn't have done 10 years ago?
Right. Well, creative, we couldn't have done 3 years ago, maybe.
So, or even a week ago Tuesday.
So, yeah, that's right. So here's an interesting thing. Recently, I was speaking to a group of musicians, right, that are teachers as well. And I did an hour on AI and how it's impacting the creative arts, including visually, including film and music. And I did the absolute state of the art, which is I did a lot of things in music, but one of the things I did is I said, I'm working on a new musical. I'm not, but this is actually a friend of mine. And we don't have the I Want song. The I Want song is a very important song in a musical because it establishes what this person wants and it gets them on their side and hoping they get it. I want to be married. Oh, they deserve to. I want to be rich. Oh, that whatever the case is, right?
Okay.
I want to survive cancer. Okay, we're going to, we're rooting for you, right? It gets the audience rooting for the people. We need to know what they want so that we can root for them and help them get it. Okay, so didn't have an I Want song. I said, okay, here's the entire script. Learn the script. This is to AI. Then pick who has the I Want song. Now write the lyrics to the I Want song based on the script. So we got to solve a problem there, and what is it that they want? And now, some of these are different models. And now I'm going to take those lyrics and give them to a song model. And now write the song. Okay, write the music. Mm-hmm. Play the music, mix the music, master the music. Give me a female singer. Have her sing the tune, okay? Mm-hmm. And now export what's called the stems. So break everything apart into individual instruments and the singer. Okay. Export those to MIDI. Take MIDI to musical notes so that I now have written sheet music that represents a song that no one wrote.
Yes.
I conceived the concept. I kicked it off.
Yeah.
You know what? Okay. But it is so good. It's not just a little bit good.
No, I don't know. When we talked, I didn't know where we were going to go. So we're going to go here. What does this mean for the future of musicians? Because I'm thinking, I grew up in Minneapolis, and 3 grades ahead of me was Prince, right? I didn't really know him, but obviously he became a big deal. The artist formerly known as Prince was developed because he wanted more control over his own art. I just saw the documentary about Led Zeppelin. One of the things that made them unique was their ability to do their art without the impediment and the direction of the studio. They had full creative license.
Right.
This is a different world, man. You're talking about not involving human beings. Is this going to replace musicians, or are we just going to have another art form that is AI generated, and we'll still have live theater? We'll still have the open mic, if you will, at the local bar for somebody to come up with a guitar and build something out.
So there's already a model for this. There's already a model.
Talk to me.
Yeah. Before podcasting, there were radio broadcasters that actually built networks on AM radio and talked to the country and had millions and millions of listeners. And then podcasting came around, and there's something like 45 million podcasts now.
Oh, my God.
Democratizing access, right, to anyone who could speak. Most of them are terrible. Some of them are good. And a few, the top 10 are making $100 million a year, right? Just cranking it, crushing it. I'm sure you're one of them. But, I mean, outside outside of that
I'm
top
waiting
10,
for the checks to come in.
Yeah, exactly. So it democratized access, and it allowed people who maybe could have never gotten a radio network, radio station, or radio anything else to all of a sudden launch. And they did.
Correct.
And Mr. Beast may have never gotten a contract with anyone, but he didn't have to, right? So I see this with music. Now, obviously, if you're a professional radio broadcaster, you're ticked off at all these podcasters. In fact, you're really ticked off knowing that Mr. Beast is making $100 million a year. You go, how it should have been me. I'm more talented. I'm more, with all due respect, right? I mean, it's just that's how people feel. So we have a model. We've seen this before. We've seen it in entertainment. That's what we did. Podcasting replaced the big radio broadcast. We don't need radio. Who listens to radio anyway? I never turn on the AM radio. So what's this do? Dean, are you a musician?
No.
Okay.
Can we still be friends, though?
Yeah. But here's the fun thing. I'm using you as an example, might have a great idea for a musical. You might just have a great idea for a song. Okay, with AI, you're in control, but you can go and create a song like that from your inspiration, from your ideas, even from melody. So I can put in a melody, I can put in a recording, I can do anything, right? And I can start with I can start with something and say, add the bass part, add the drum part. I want to make this EDM instead. I want to make it rock. I want to make it whatever. I want to make it in 3/4 instead of 4/4. I want to move the chorus around. AI will do that. Now, before that, you had to be not only a musician, but an expert on the tools, either a DAW, a digital audio workstation, or something like Finale or Sibelius to write the music. Those are your choices, right? I know those tools. Here's what I'm finding. Now to demo ideas, I'm going to AI and say, write the freaking thing, record the freaking thing for me, do it all in 30 seconds. Oh, don't like it. I want it slower. I want to change the key. I want to do this. I want to do that. Boom. So I take 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks or 4 months of work down to 10 minutes. I'm still getting the product I want. In fact, frankly, you listen to that tune, that is a better product than I could have written. It really is. Yeah. Now, why is it a better product? I said I want the I Want song to be a hit. I want it based on the hits of the Broadway hits from the last 30 years, and I want the audience on their feet. Give me that song. And since AI has listened to every song pretty much ever written, including those for Broadway shows, etc., it knew how to write that better than I would, better than I can. It has the model. So why would I argue with it? Why don't I use it as a tool?
I totally get it. I mean, there's two things I think about when you're talking about this. Like there was about maybe 9 months, maybe probably a year ago, working with a company. They mentioned we don't want to be the next Pontiac. Obviously, Pontiac is no longer a car, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like, there's probably a song about that. So during the lunch break, I went, found some sort of AI app, and probably had downloaded it before. I said, name this. I don't want to be a Pontiac. I want it to be jazzy. I wanted to have this. So it took me 15 minutes. When they came back from lunch, I played it and they were blown away. How did you do that so quickly? So I see the benefit of that. But I'm also seeing that I really love live music. So
and you'll still have live music. In fact, live will be even more important.
Oh, my God. It's a treat because I live in Bend, Oregon. We got a great amphitheater. You know, it's kind of like the Boulders piece. And I'm sitting outside under the sun, under the skies, and I'm listening to Kenny Wayne Shepherd. I'm listening to Joe Bonamassa. I'm listening to Tedeschi Truck. I'm listening to my favorite bands. Chicago's coming in this week, right?
Well, I love Chicago.
Oh, my God. And these guys, you know, they're out there with their horns, and they're like 80 years old, but they're still killing it, and they got the
Jimmy Pankow.
Oh my God!
Yeah, Jim isn't too flabby. Actually, that dude works out 8 hours a day. I've met them all. I've met them. They're great. They're great.
They're great guys.
People.
So, but your point's taken though. I think that there's something about that because I'm finding that I do 100% live, some virtual, I should say, maybe some virtual facilitations. Right when I work with companies and teams and so forth, it's always preferred to be live.
Sure,
absolutely. What I'm finding is that people are hungry for it even more so than before because we don't have it as much.
That's right.
That live interpersonal connection. So my analogy is our facilitations are seemingly more valuable than they were, say, pre-COVID, just as going and seeing live music is maybe more valuable because we have options for AI to listen to music.
Well, look at that song that I didn't write, but I instigated the creation of, right?
Right. You queued it up.
For me, I needed to do that to have a demo song in that spot that might work for that spot for the I Want song in a Broadway show, right? Now, when we used to do a demo song, again, it would take months. You'd write it. Then you got to go to a studio. You got to get musicians. You'd record it. Some singer would come. You know, all of that would happen, all for just a demo that might be thrown away. You might throw that song away and write a new one. Yeah. So eventually I'll export that to music, and if we keep that song, it will be performed live on a stage, right? So I didn't take anything away, although that could be the recording, but I want live people to perform it. So for my use, that's what I'm using it for, right? But I just wanted you to hear it because in that room of musicians, I had some people that were absolutely angry, livid. That thing sucks. It's terrible. I can tell it's AI. It's horrific. Why would you ever do that? I mean, I heard, and people shouldn't use it. And this is okay. There was another half of the room that said, tell me how you did that. I'm going to use it every day. Not because I don't know how to do it by hand, but why would I do it by hand? I can still do it by hand, by the way. Nobody took that away from you. But I don't always have weeks to get this done. And I had one person come up to me and said, oh my God, tell me exactly how you did that. I need to use this afternoon because I have this thing due and I don't have time and I don't have the budget for it and I just need to get this done. I said, yep, give it your melody. Here's how you upload it. It will write the rest of the song for you. It'll arrange it for you. It'll record it for you. And you'll be dancing to it next week, right? Or you'll be dancing to it this afternoon. So you have this range of people, but it's like when Excel showed up. This is true with everything in AI, and I give this as an example. When Excel showed up and you were in finance.
Microsoft Excel, yeah.
And Microsoft Excel.
Yeah.
There were people in finance who said, I'm never going to use that thing. It's blasphemy. We have to know how to do math. It's important for our brains, et cetera.
Right.
Remember, these are pencils and ledger books, right?
Yes.
So their head was there. There were other people who said, this is a godsend. I'm going to run my entire department this way. Who won?
Well,
the people using Excel.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not an arguable. It's a knowable. And so yes, there are skills that humans lost, which is the ability to do long division in their head. But that's a skill that is valueless today. It has zero value.
How many kids know how to write in cursive?
That has zero value.
It's gone.
I'm sorry, it's gone.
It's gone. Yeah.
It has no value. Once we put computers on desktop, there's not a boss in town that wants you to do that. By the way, so I'm going to tell you what's gone soon, right? Hey, we got to write 52 blog posts for the year, one a week. Let me sit down and take the next 18 weeks to do that.
Yeah, right.
I'll give you the next 2 hours to do that.
Yes.
Come up with your topics, learn from the website, write 52 titles, then write all 52 blog posts, then edit those, do them in the company brand style, and cue them up. Chop, done. No one is going to pay anyone to write that stuff anymore. Nobody's going to pay anyone to write that stuff. So that will be kind of a lost art.
Wouldn't you pay somebody to edit it, though?
Not much.
I'm not saying that this is going to be a heavy time-consuming thing because...
Not much. I used to pay $1,500 for a blog post, an outside person who would write it in tech, in the tech world. Because they had to have some tech chops and all of that.
Right.
Okay, now I pay nothing. What I do is I write a couple paragraphs on what I want to say. But it's gibberish, right? It's literally gibberish. It's blah, 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 blah. Here's my opinions. Write a 700-word blog post. Boom. In the company brand. I go and edit it, but 98% is stunningly good, and I hit go. Maybe it takes me 5 minutes. I'm not going to pay someone to do that. By the way, they can't say it in my voice anyway.
Yeah.
So no, the days are gone. So there are skills that go away. There's no question. And some musicians who say, I really, really, really want to write note by note. You can still do it. However, will people pay you to write note by note anymore? So I'll give you a real life example, okay? In TV, in Hollywood and TV, all the TV episodes that you watch, they all have music going on in the background.
Sure.
They have a soundtrack. You don't pay attention to it, but it builds the emotion. And okay, so it used to be those were written note by note, and then you'd go into a studio and record it with 30 musicians or whatever it was, and then that became the soundtrack for that TV show. That was expensive. You'd spend $50,000 for 30 minutes or $150 to $100,000 for 30 minutes recording and writing and all those things, and it would take weeks and weeks and weeks. In the last 10 years, the digital audio workstation libraries got so good that you could go out to someone and say, create the entire soundtrack for this TV episode, but I'm only going to pay you $500 to do it. And you have basically, 24 hours to give it to me.
Yeah.
Okay. That is how all TV episodes are done today. So that already moved from I'm going to use real musicians to I'm using one musician who's an expert in typing this stuff into a DAW, basically, right? And it's all digital instruments, but you can't tell the difference. Okay. There's the next step, which is the AI step, which is I'm going to pay someone $50 to create 30 minutes of music with AI that aligns with what's going on in the episode, or $50 to $100. Basically, don't spend more than an hour. Give me my 30 minutes of music, and we're done. You don't even need to go to the DAW. I'm not going to pay you $500 or $1,000. I'm literally going to pay you $50. And anyone can do it. That's just the next iteration. And that person doesn't even really need to be a musician.
No, I totally get that. Probably better at just simply being able to use the tool or asking the right questions. How
Yeah.
does this then, because I'm seeing this right now in commercials and TV and so forth. You go like, is that a real person or is that a AI generated person?
Sure.
I mean, I'm thinking about movies and I'm thinking about the future of acting, if you will. It sounds like it could very well be in trouble, much like music.
Great question.
Because who's going to, I mean, yeah, we got a Brad Pitt, we got a Tom Cruise, we got these people that we know are live human beings, but in the future, do we even going to care?
So, great question. Let's go to some statistics. When SAG was on strike a year or two ago.
Yeah.
And
that was part of the reason why they were on strike, right?
One of the big things they were mad about was AI.
Yep.
AI, if you're going to use my likeness, you have to pay me. Okay,
Right.
so the studios agreed to that. But here's what's interesting. First of all, there's 80,000 members of SAG. Less than 10,000 made basically any money whatsoever. Any. Okay?
Right.
So already acting's in trouble. Let's not kid ourselves, right?
Exactly.
80,000 members, 10,000 made some money, and the vast majority of them made less than $20K.
Yes.
Okay, so acting, they can't eat with that, right?
No.
There are probably less than a few hundred who made any real money. And then there's, 20 who made all the money, right? Okay,
Yep.
fine.
Yep.
That's what it is. That's already the case. All right, now let's step forward. I thought it was the most specious argument, I guess, that I had ever heard, which is if you use my likeness, you're going to pay. That's great, by the way. Yes, if you use someone's likeness, they should get paid, and there should be some scale for that. But studios aren't going to use your likeness. I can
Why would they
create
need to?
Yeah, I can create anything I want.
Yeah.
And so I'm already doing that. I'm creating a lot of content that is absolutely pixel perfect. It is people talking. None of those people existed. None of those people have ever existed. So I not only didn't pay an actor, and this isn't about paying actors, by the way. I paid actors. I like to pay actors. That's not my point. My point here is about what AI can do, not that it's good or bad, right?
Right.
I've got AI that can generate characters. They can speak to each other. I can generate scenes. Okay? They were not modeled directly after any specific actor. They're just an amalgamation of what I said, right, and what they've seen. Okay. Not only that, there are no camera people. There's no lighting. There's no sound.
Right.
There's no set. There's no studio.
Right.
There's nothing. There's no sound stage, right? There's nothing, right? There's nothing but me in front of a computer. Now, I can tell you today Hollywood costs about $1 million a minute to produce a film. Rough number.
A minute.
Million a minute. You will produce a film, if you want to, Dean, by 2030 for $120 of compute time.
Wow.
Okay? You yourself. That's a $1,000,000x reduction in cost. We cannot sit here and say no one's going to do that.
Right.
Everyone's going to do it. Just like podcasting made everyone a radio broadcaster for $200.
Right.
Ish. This is going to make everyone a filmmaker for $120. There'll be mostly bad films. There'll be the occasional pretty good one. And there'll be 10 a year that bring in $100 million, just like podcasting.
Yes.
It's not a bell curve. It's literally just, it falls right off, right? It's a long tail. That's what there's going to be, and it's okay. What does that mean for the studios? I don't know, because this is Hollywood pixel perfect. Why did we build Hollywood? I wrote an article on this a year or two ago. Why did we build Hollywood? We built it because you needed a group of people who understood how cameras work, who understood editing, right? Who understood directing, who understood lighting, and then had all the equipment around and put it onto sound stages, right? So we built Hollywood because you needed incredible infrastructure, very expensive infrastructure. A sound stage can cost, hundreds of millions of dollars to build it and then outfit it with the equipment. Hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe more. What happens if I don't need any of that? Then I don't need Hollywood per se, except for distribution. But distribution to theaters is not going well. Okay? So if I make a movie, I'm not going to the theater. I don't care. I'm going to YouTube. Because I can monetize that this afternoon. I'm going to monetize it this afternoon. If 100 million people watch it, I'm going to make money. If 1 billion people watch it, I'm printing money.
Do you think, though, that the analogy of a live event of music is something that is to be appreciated maybe because we don't get enough of it because we have so many options for digital music, will movie theaters be also that ability to experience the space of a huge screen and the sound and everything reverberating under me, kind of like the Sphere over in Vegas? That's an extreme of that.
It's an extreme experience.
Totally extreme.
I like to think so. But the data are not great. And so if you look at, movie theatrical revenue today versus where it was, pre-COVID, and I know it went to nothing in COVID, it's not even close to recovered, and there doesn't seem to be any recovery. And one of the reasons is this. What people are going to the theater for now are the big blockbuster movies, right? So Jurassic Park, I'm going to the theater. I want to see that on a huge screen. Yeah. But everything else, first of all, the young generation, they're watching movies on their laptop or on their freaking phone.
Oh, well, I've done that too. I'm playing this all the time. That's what I'm
watching on the phone.
All the time.
So people, Steve Jobs said this when he came out with the iPod, right? Convenience trumps all. So when you got the iPod and you went from listening on this big, beautiful stereo at home to highly compressed music on the iPod on these terrible headphones that were first included, you gave up the quality for the convenience of having your entire music library in your pocket. Convenience trumps all. Going to the theater is not as convenient as watching this film on your phone. And so people, young generation especially, they've grown up with an iPhone. And they're watching the films on their phone and sitting in bed alone, whatever it is, and they're fine with it. Yeah. They're fine with it. They don't even wait to watch it on the TV that's in the living room or whatever it is that's 65 inches. They don't bother. Yeah. So what do I think? No, I think it's very hard to understand how theaters and mass survive because the statistics are not good, even though I love going to the theater. So I hate saying it, right?
Yeah, me too. So let's move out of music for a second. You had a great quote, convenience trumps all. Is there something in your rank and file business, not necessarily so specific to music or theater, that there is a convenience within normal businesses that AI will be replacing, that should be replacing? Because again, your comment is well taken. Convenience trumps all. Where does that show up in your normal business?
Sure. Well, the first place is generating all marketing content. Most marketing content, except for Procter & Gamble and stuff, right? Most marketing content, we were hiring outside illustrators and artists, and we're hiring advertising agencies to develop content and ads, right? Yeah. Okay, we are on the precipice. And by the way, most of those ads have been social media ads lately, right? Right. For the last 10 years. We're on the precipice of, I don't go to WPP to create my ads. I will literally say, here's my brand guidelines to Facebook. Facebook will generate with AI ads on the fly that will be modified on the fly. Follow me. And not only modified on the fly, there'll be 64 million different ones, each one slightly modified just for the person that it's targeting. Yeah. I can never do that with an ad agency. But I will be able to do it in every major platform that I advertise on because AI will do that. We're very close to it, right? That's the future. So what happens to entire ad agencies? I just give rules to Facebook. It generates all my ads, generates 64 million different combinations, lives by my rules, right? What happens to an ad agency that made billions a year doing this? Right. So
go on.
Convenience.
They're like the Hollywood analogy.
Convenience trumps all. So it's more convenient for me to give a set of rules to a system and say, go make the advertisements and make them one-to-one, right? Literally one-to-one targeted. And that is not only convenient, it's cheaper, it's faster. I don't have to look at a few ads for weeks. It's just done, right? And it's convenient.
You said you do 50 keynotes a year. What's your sense about businesses not wanting to hear this because it knows they have to make change, let people go, adopt new thinking? Let's just put our head in the sand and, hey, I'm retiring in 3 years anyway. Maybe this damn thing will not necessarily affect me. How much are we not embracing this?
Yeah. So here's what we see today. because I'm in the AI space and I've got a company in the AI space. First of all, at the C level, they want it. They've seen the statistics. They know how much more productive people can be with the right tools and the right training. That does not mean they're going to get there easily. So why do I say that? For example, if you're replacing your call center with AI assistants, and you've read my background, I invented the AI assistant back in the late 90s, so I'm known as the father of the darn thing. I had someone ask me, how do you feel about that when it's going to replace millions of jobs? I said, well, I have no feeling about it. I invented a technology, and people can use it how they want. Right? Literally, don't try to pin that one on me, right? But,
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I talked to a CEO recently, big, huge insurance company. They're going to replace their entire call center with AI. The call center, they moved offshore 20 years ago because they didn't want to pay $20 an hour. They wanted to pay $2 an hour. So they already made that change, right? Now $2 an hour is going to go to 20 cents an hour and be all AI. So what they're doing is they're setting this up separately. They're testing it separately. They have not told anyone in the call center. And one day they're going to show up and say, the doors are locked, go home, right?
Yes.
And sorry, your AI took your job. Sorry, 600 people. They're purposely not telling them because they'll sabotage the effort. So what I am seeing more and more is the rank and file see this AI technology demonstrated. And I'll give you an example. I'm doing this software QA stuff, and there's this technology. You write tests, you write scripts, right? And it takes a typical human, an hour to write a script, right? Our AI technology comes in and can write hundreds or even over 1,000 in an hour. 1,000 test scripts in an hour, automation, right?
Wow.
And they see this, and now they sabotage it every single way they can. Human beings. They tell their boss it doesn't work. We tried it. Everything, right? It does work. And then I have to go tell the boss, you know that your people are sabotaging this. And then some take that and some get mad. Why would you tell me that my people would do that? Well, this goes back 200 years. The word sabotage comes from France. The first industrial revolution, when they brought in automation to replace workers on lines making shoes and making clothing. And what the workers did is they threw their shoes into the machines to clog them up, which would stop them dead, and you'd have to get the repairman to come in and take it all apart, repair person, right? Because a shoe is a sabot, S-A-B-O-T, the sabot. So they would sabotage.
Yeah.
Sabotage. So they sabotaged the machines because they didn't want automation. We are seeing it play out again. We don't want automation. I mean, what did the actors do? We don't want automation, so let me try and stop that, right? Everybody wants to stop this, but you can't stop it. The machines won. We automated clothing. We automated shoes.
Yep.
We automated car factories, right? So the machines always win. You can sabotage and you'll maybe extend something for a few months, but eventually management's going to say, this particular task can be done by AI.
So you bring up a great example of an internal perspective about sabotage. I have a real experience myself when I go into a call center. I'm calling Delta, I'm calling someplace else, I'm calling American Express about a particular charge. I have to go through a whole labyrinth of, do you really want to talk to a human being? Press 1, we'll send you a text, you can do this all virtually. Yeah. And I hate it.
IVR systems, yeah.
I just hate it. I want to talk to a human being, right? Now, is that because of my generation? I've been used to it. My mindset is I like high touch. I want the customer experience. I feel like the best customer experience is talking to a human being. Are we going to eventually have the populace accept AI slowly so that in the future, a person like me is going to have no problem waiting and pushing all these buttons?
All right,
so is there a holdout for customer experience that is live, right, flesh and blood?
No. So what the thing you're describing is what's called IVR. It's not AI. And you push this button, get out of this, and get out of that. Yeah. No one likes that, right?
Hate it.
However, when someone answers the phone and he or she sounds completely human, knows your background, knows what you're calling about, sees the phone number, sees there's records in the system, and can solve your problem right now about 50% faster than the humans are solving it, because we've got a lot of data on this in call centers. And that's because they don't make mistakes. They're highly trained on the FAQs, basically, and they will listen to what you want to do, and they will either be able to do it or not. If they can't, they'll immediately pass you off to level 2 support or level 3 support, but they'll generally deal with it. You really can't, unless you ask her, you will not be able to tell that she is an AI. Yeah. And you can go to my personal website, kevinsurace.com. At the bottom, there is a digital avatar of me that you can interact with. So if you select the video version, you can select video, it'll come up, and it sees you, like your camera's on.
Yeah.
And you could ask the virtual me, hey, what's behind me? Well, I see this Innovation. It says reimagine. It looks like you're in an office, and it's and this is the wall covering. And I see this interesting modern lamp behind you. It'll say all that, and you'll go, this is freaky.
Yeah.
Right? It is so human. I mean, it's clear. I'm saying I'm an avatar, right? So it's clear. But you will see that we're going to accept it. When we built Portico back in the late 90s, she was Mary, her name, was completely interactive with people, and people started interacting with her. In fact, people just wanted to get on and talk to Mary, right? I mean, they loved interacting with Mary. So when you do it right, yeah, the data are clear. People will interact with something knowing that it's not human, but as long as it's solving my problem faster, I'd rather interact with it, because that's actually what you want.
So then maybe in 10 years, maybe in 5 years, maybe a week from Tuesday, I could get on a podcast with Kevin, and it's not Kevin.
You can already.
I could have a podcast interview with an avatar.
Yeah, you can. Yes, I have an avatar version of me that will have a podcast with you, actually.
All right, that should be that could be interesting.
And separate from the show, you can just go interact with my thing and actually record that interaction if you want and put it on the show. Right? You can do whatever you want with my digital avatar. It's very good, actually. It's quite good.
That's awesome. Well, Kevin, this has been really fascinating. How can people follow what you're about? You mentioned the book that's coming out. Just what can people do if they want to know more about your work and how to connect with you?
KevinSurace.com. That's my website. Lots on there. My LinkedIn, I post every single day. So you'll get some kind of update every single day, and sometimes twice a day on what's going on and what I'm thinking. Something about Joy Success, for sure, the Joy Success cycle. Something about AI. Something about cybersecurity often. Lots to learn there. And so, go to my LinkedIn and follow me, and it all works out. Or go to my website, either one. Both.
Kevin, it's been really a lot of fun. You got great energy. I love chatting with you. You've got a lot of good stories to tell. It's been a real pleasure.
Well, Dean, it's all theater, right?
It's all theater, man.
It's all theater, man. That's what makes you a good podcaster. It's all theater in the end. We're here to entertain. Yeah. Thanks.
All right. Take care, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to Leadovation with Dean Newland. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you'd like to learn more about Dean or Mission Facilitators Leadership, go to mfileadership.com. That's mfileadership.com, or check the show notes. Reimagine, facilitate, flourish. Transform your leadership success with Leadovation.